Hey everybody, I hope that you're all doing well. The first cards that we have out are the Empress and the Wheel of Fortune. The first thing that I'm feeling with the Empress and the Wheel of Fortune is that you can be doing something that is going to expand a breadth of knowledge that you have, or it can be about expanding a skill set, or you can be like, maybe this is an interest that I have, like a hobby that I like to do, and I can be expressing myself in that way. With the Empress, I'm seeing this be connected with your like creative flow or stuff that you like to do or skill set, and then having Jupiter there can be like learning about something. It can be acquiring knowledge that you want to acquire. So we have Venus and we have Jupiter together, so it can be like I'm expanding what I love. This can be like maybe I'm going to be trying a new food, or maybe I've always wanted to try pottery, so I'm going to do a pottery class. Or I've always found plants interesting. Maybe I want to get a plant and figure out how to take care of it. So it's something that you're going to put your like nurturing and creative spirit into. It will be something that you feel attracted to, and it would be something that you could potentially enjoy having Venus there. So it would be something that you'd feel connected with. It would speak to you in some way. And then having Jupiter there can be expanding, learning, having some type of experience. So there can be something that you're taking on. This can involve a change of some sort, and it can involve an expansion of an experience that maybe you don't fully have yet. So it's going to allow you to grasp and connect with an experience. I'm feeling drawn to the necklace of the person here that I'm seeing in the card that is the Empress. Go for this. I'm seeing it be a big green light here for you to do. Okay, so with the Wheel of Fortune and with Jupiter, Jupiter is about learning through doing and having that experience. So it doesn't have to be something that you know that you're going to like. You can be trying something out. You can be feeling kind of adventurous here. I'm seeing we have Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So you're definitely being encouraged to go for this, to try it out, to see what you like. Or this can be something that you know you like, and maybe you want to expand upon that more. Maybe you want to, like you've always, I don't know, like knitted one thing. Maybe you're going to start knitting something else, or you're like, maybe I'm going to try my hand at that and see what happens and see if I like it. Now is the time for exploring, adventuring, crafting, putting your energy into something that you care about, and something that you could potentially like really learn to love, or even just have fun having some type of experience here. It's going to like widen the breadth. It is going to widen the scope. And so this can be expanding, like finding more of what you like, finding more of what you enjoy. This can be desiring to connect with something and then finding out that like maybe you have a natural affinity for that, or maybe there's something that you want to get better at. So it's just a time all around of doing these types of things. Whatever it is, you would naturally feel drawn to this, you would naturally feel attracted to it, or you would feel that potentially you would enjoy it. So there will be that feeling there when we have Venus involved in something. Like it will speak to you for some reason. And having Jupiter there can be like, let me try my hand at it. Let me see what happens. Like I might like this, or I might like expanding or extending in this type of way. And then having Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck would be just like going all in head first. Let's see what happens. There can be a part of you that like maybe you feel uncomfortable trying new things, or maybe there's a part of you that feels like kind of triggered by the idea of this. I'm feeling like I'm gonna sneeze. I'm feeling that on my left side. Left side of the throat chakra, there may be something that you need to be open to, something that you need to be receptive to here. So Wheel of Fortune is growing, learning, expanding, the changes, the destiny. Like we don't know what's gonna happen. So if I put myself in that position, I don't really know where it could go. Maybe there's a part of you that a little bit you don't feel open to this. Now, what I'm getting from this, I'm seeing Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Maybe you feel uncomfortable doing something where you don't totally know what you're doing, or you don't totally know how it would turn out. This can be a part of you that feels challenged by that. This can be a part of you where you're realizing, oh, I'm not like so open-minded here. So this isn't a bad thing that it's popping up. It's just giving you more information. To understand this part of you that's like, when I'm in a situation where it's unknown, or I don't understand the outcome, or I haven't learned that yet, and so I would have to learn something or figure something out, there's a part of me that doesn't want to try because I feel uncomfortable. This can be bringing up some like self-criticism. It can be bringing up some self-judgment. It's like, if I'm not good at it, I don't want to try it. Kind of like that. Or like, what if I embarrass myself? It can be something like this. Especially having Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Like, Queen of Wands is that part of us that like, we like to look good doing something. Like, we want to feel like we are attractive, and that we look like we have a handle on things. I know what I'm doing here. I look like I know what I'm doing here. Even if I may not know what I'm doing, I want to look like I know what I'm doing here. Having that Five of Swords, this can be challenging that part of you that's connected with like always needing to know what you're doing, or always like immediately needing to be good at something, or like you need to like open up so you can give yourself a chance to see how something is gonna go. So there can be a focus on like how you're being perceived here with that Five of Swords and Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. If there's so much of a focus on how you're being perceived in a negative light, like what could go wrong, what could maybe somebody say, like maybe I'm gonna embarrass myself, like all of this judgment and criticism that you can be channeling towards yourself, which would cut you off from being open to opportunity, experiences, exchanges. So this can be something that you're becoming aware of on a mental level. So again, it's not bad that the Five of Swords is coming up. It can be something where you're growing into this awareness of, I feel really uncomfortable doing this. This is very much outside of my comfort zone. Does that mean that needs to determine whether you do this or not? No, it can just be something that you're acknowledging and saying, yeah, I feel really uncomfortable with this, but it's something that could potentially feel empowering to me. So am I going to let that determine whether I do this or not? Or am I going to acknowledge I feel uncomfortable and I'm going to do this anyway? I'm going to see what happens. And also too, like, what if you do embarrass yourself? You know, like, what if you don't know what you're doing? So what? So this can be a type of attitude that you're taking on with this, where it's like, do you want to open your heart? Do you want to keep it closed and keep yourself away from something that you may really fall in love with? And it's also like, this is for the plot. This is for the experience when we have Jupiter there. This is like, what can I learn from this? What can the takeaway be? Maybe you're going to learn that you don't like this. Maybe you're going to learn that you're great at this. Maybe you're going to learn that this is actually helping you pivot in a different direction that's very much meant for you. You never really know what could happen, but if you block your own shot here, you're not going to find this out. And this comes from a place of being closed off. Even too, like, if this goes deep, if this runs deeply, this can be like, what would a new experience even be able to show me here? I don't even feel like I could learn from this. So that's a way that we can like manipulate and convince ourselves not to go in a direction of something that's very clearly appealing to you here. So now is the time when you can work with your mentality. Because the mentality is not meant to, like, if you're only working at a surface level, it's like you'll feel this weird sensation and be like, oh, I'm going to turn around and walk in the opposite direction, where like that was not meant to give you that type of signal. So there's a needing to understand the deeper meaning of why this is coming up, where this comes from, and what that means. Because I see Five of Swords as being very ego driven, and it's for a reason, right? Like we learn, like, from this evolutionary standpoint, psychologically speaking, that if something feels threatening, to run in the opposite direction because it could kill us. And it may seem extreme, but that's really what's going on here. So you have to work with yourself through it. It's like when like a kid wants to try something, they can feel really resistant to doing it, but you know that they're safe, and so you can encourage them to do that. You have to do that with yourself. You have to coach yourself through this. I'm seeing 9:44 on the time when I looked up. So this is something where if it's like you need to take a little bit of a risk here to get a reward, but what feels risky is just your ego being like, I feel uncomfortable with this. That is the risk. Like, you just have to work with your ego through this. And your ego is just here wanting to protect you, among other things. Okay. You're moving through it. Okay, there's an understanding of the Five of Swords. There's a moving through. I'm understanding what this means. I'm moving through. This is good. Good work. Try something, try it out, be open. You can still be in the process of figuring out what you like, but I'm seeing you move past this point of indecision. Maybe there's also something going on here too where you feel confused right now. I'm seeing Seven of Cups be connected with the Wheel of Fortune, but having Five of Swords be there, like what this looks like to me is that there can be some very clear stuff that's going on here, but because of this blockage from insight that is the Five of Swords, it can be keeping you from a place where you're like not in touch. Like, let's say for example, like maybe you want to try something, okay? Like you want to try blueberry ice cream. You want to move in that direction, but you've never had it before. You don't know if you're going to like it. And so Five of Swords comes up and is like, don't even try, because there's a chance that you may hate it. And then that Seven of Cups there is like, well, now I'm confused. Do I want it or do I not? And it's like your energy told you were attracted to go in that direction. This is your ego coming through and saying something to you. You need to know the difference. So this is allowing you to be in a situation where you can understand that it's not your intuition giving you mixed signals here. This is your Venus energy coming through, which your Venus energy is going to direct you. It's going to attract you to things that can fall into your wheelhouse eventually. So if not already. So it will be saying like, go towards the blueberry ice cream. It's your ego. It's the Five of Swords. It's the not open. It's the lack of open-mindedness that's saying like, you don't know if you're going to like it. Like, do you really want to waste it on that? Taking that experience away from you. And then you're like confused. Like, what direction am I supposed to go in now? When you know what direction, you need to go in the direction that you're being called into. But that's where this feeling of like, is it this or is it that comes from? And you're learning to interpret that. You're learning to understand that. And it's not bad. It's not bad that the Five of Swords comes through. It's telling you something. It's telling you something about your mindset. It's telling you about some place where you don't feel safe. It's telling you about some place where you don't feel open. It's telling you some place where you may feel insecure. So it's giving you valuable information here, and it's telling you, I have some sort of belief system that's out of alignment now, and now I can be working on that. Some type of belief, cognitive, with the Five of Swords, because the swords are the air energy, and five is going to be changing something mentally. So this is going to help you open up. So I'm not really seeing you actually be in a space where you're confused about things once you understand what's really going on here. It allows you to put an end to that because there's a very clear direction here. It's just needing to know the difference. Because these energies have different agendas. Venus is saying, it may be uncomfortable for a little bit, but you're going to like this, or it's going to lead you to something that you're going to like. This is an important experience to be having. Jupiter says very similarly, you're only going to learn through actively having that experience. Otherwise, you're not going to know. Let's expand your awareness of what this is and your understanding. Let's learn through this experience. And then we get to the point of the Five of Swords, which is that block, like stop, don't go anywhere. It's a big stop sign. And it's saying like, if you cross this threshold, you're gonna have to change your belief in some way in order to be open to this. So you're rewriting something here. Understanding that you actually are safe, and this is something that you can listen to, and this is something that you can move in the direction of, and that it's gonna be okay. But there can very much be this part of you with the Five of Swords that you're learning about, like, oh, I'm seeing where it's like a cap being on something, and you're realizing, and you just have to take the cap off so you can extend beyond that point. But before, you could have like not realized that a cap was there, and you're like, oh, it just only goes this high. But you have to take that off so you can move through that, because there's a lot of space above and beyond that. Five of Swords wants to keep you in what you know and what you are familiar with. The Five of Swords I see as being very ego-driven, where the point of it is wanting to keep you safe. Venus and Jupiter are going to encourage you to expand and to grow and to learn about what you don't know, to have those experiences that you have not had before. And you will learn more about yourself as you move through. So I think too, in understanding, like, none of these energies are meant to be demonized. And I think also too, none of them are meant to be like looked at as the only thing that you should be listening to as well. Like, there is like an intuitive essence within all of these energies. There is an organic nature within all of these energies. Like, Venus has a nature, Jupiter has a nature, the Five of Swords has a nature, and they all have different agendas here. So rather than saying anything is like good or bad here, when you just understand what the essence of these energies are, what the nature of these energies are, what the dharma of these energies are, it helps you to work with it, and then you get to decide as the witness and the experiencer of these things what then you want to do with it. But it sort of like puts every energy in its place so you can isolate and understand them individually rather than like everything being there. It feels like if you have, unless you have like really good taste buds, if you have a soup, like you don't necessarily know every bit and piece that's in there. So this is like separating the ingredients to understand the essence of them and then move forward in a way that you want to. Like, maybe something with the Five of Swords is in here that you don't like in the recipe. So you isolate that and you remove it, and then you move forward with the rest of this. And when I say remove it, I mean more so like this will be something that you end up integrating. Because Five of Swords really can feel like an authority of some sort. That is how the ego speaks to us. Again, because it's like, it's life or death every time for that part of us. So working with this is something that's going to be helpful. And it's going to take away this feeling of being confused about what's going on here. Helps you take it apart and understand it on a deeper level rather than just keeping things on the surface. So we have Venus, Jupiter, and the moon all here. And yeah, that Five of Swords is above the High Priestess. So I'd say that this can be the ego showing up and like taking up the whole screen, and you can't get a deeper feeling and a deeper understanding for what's going on here. And this is about using this wisdom to connect and see through that, to see the purpose of it. Because I do feel like this is something that's been keeping you in a space where you can feel cloudy intuitively moving through this. You can feel like you haven't made sense of something moving to this, and it's not because moving through this, and it's not because the direction isn't there. The direction is here and the direction is very clear. There's just something here that has to be integrated that's not integrated, and that is the Five of Swords in this scenario. That is the ego in this scenario. So this is also helping you understand that, to work with yourself and to move forward. This is also something, why these moves are being made is so you can feel more deeply connected with what you have going on. So you can be within things where you actually feel happy, you feel satiated by what it is that you're connecting with, rather than being in a place where you're like, it just doesn't fit right. This is helping you move to a place where things do connect, where things do feel like fitting for you and you do feel happy and satisfied with them. That's what all of this is for. So you're in a spot right now where things are feeling kind of incomplete and you're like, what am I even doing here? This is going to help you move through that to a feeling where things are on track. So that's the direction that you're moving in if you're willing to work with this energy. There is a need to open up to the feminine energy here, which will be opening up to what you're feeling, what you're sensing, what is calling to you, what you're hearing within that call. And once all of this is brought to light, you can then be decisive with it. You can then understand what it's saying to you, and then you can do something with it. So you can make decisions, you can make calls, and you can move forward, and you're not moving through this stuff anymore. But yeah, when we go through an experience like this, it can be like this feeling where you're like, where's the guidance? Where's the guidance? Where's the guidance? And it's like, it's here. I'm seeing it be here. There's just it's like buried underneath some other surface level stuff, and you just have to get deeper, and that's going to tell you. And I think by separating these different aspects of yourself, it's going to help you understand. It's like, rather than everybody, all these energies yelling at the same time, and you're like, I can't hear anything. This is going to help you separate those storylines and hear them individually, and then you get to choose what you do here. And that's what's going to help moving through this, okay? And the beautiful thing about this is that if you end up listening to the Five of Swords, it keeps you in a situation that you actually might not feel satisfied with, but it can feel comfortable. It can keep you in a space where it feels safe, where it doesn't feel threatened, where you don't have to grow. That is what the Five of Swords says. That is that energy of the ego. You're not gonna grow, but at least you'll be safe. You may not feel very happy, but at least you don't have to get uncomfortable. The thing is, you're looking for a remedy for something that you don't feel satisfied with. You're looking for a remedy so you can connect with something that you want deeply. The advice of the Five of Swords is not going to give you the remedy to that. You have to connect with Venus. You have to connect with Jupiter. You have to connect with your moon. So in understanding this, it's going to lead you to that satisfaction you're looking for, that deeper connection that you're looking for, that fulfillment, that satiation that you're looking for, that like feeling at peace with things. That's what this is leading you in the direction of. So understanding too the nature, the motivation of these energies, it will help you move through this, okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.